Jackie, will you pray for us?
Yeah,
please?
ready?
And you're the chaplain here.
Well, first of all, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Trinity Tree Corps ceremony here at 201 Cimarron, under American Legion Post 9, American Legion Post 9 Riders, and our American Legion Auxiliary. So first and foremost, I know it's hot, and I want to thank everyone for being here, and for all of those that gave a helping hand one way or another. So thank you for all of that. I know it's hot, so we're going to try to keep it short. We're going to start off with Steele Smith will speak for a moment. We're going to start off with the National Anthem, then we're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I got a quick little speech, and then Steele will talk just a little bit about the Trinity Tree Corps. Okay? All right. American Legion. National Anthem. Yep.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what snow proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly strewn, and the rockets in air, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Come on, do the pledge. Yep. Great job, young lady. All right, we're going to start off with the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Tom. All right, my name is Mike Broder, Post Commander here at Post 9, also part of the American Legion Riders. This is just a quick synopsis of our whole thing of the American Legion. The American Legion was chartered in Congress in 1919 with some weary old veterans from World War I. So right now, though, the membership stands over 2 million, and then there's more than 13,000 posts worldwide. Colombia, Puerto Rico, France, Mexico, and Philippines, just to name a few other countries. Okay? So the first caucus, the first meeting, was in March of 1919. There's a whole history of all this stuff. I could go on for hours, but I won't. Okay? And before you can leave the door, you have a 50-question written test. So you can, when you pass it, you can leave. So just real quick about American Legion Post 9. So we're what we call a centurion post, which means it's over 100 years, which is pretty phenomenal for the state of Colorado, since how it's one of the younger states in the nation, because we're out west compared to the east coast of the United States. But on April 17, 1920, an application was made to the Adjutant Department of Colorado for the American Legion to be chartered in La Junta, Colorado, and it was approved permanent charter. So that means that this post has been legally authorized through the state, right? So, with that being said, there was a man named Charles E. McFarland that served in World War I overseas. And he was on one of the first ships to land overseas during the war in France. And then shortly thereafter, he died from a lobar pneumonia. So he was a very congenial man, a very well-respected gentleman. And the Masons, the Masonic Lodge, held his funeral, and then they dedicated American Legion Post 9 in his name, Charles E. McFarland. So there's quite a history about it. And then the first post commander was Walter Frost. So if you're from this area and you hear the Frost name, he was the first post commander of Charles E. McFarland. back in 1919. So it's pretty incredible. I could go on for a long time, but I don't want to, so I'll turn it right over to you. Short and sweet.
I'd like to thank everybody for coming here today for our celebration of heroes. I think this is our 20th celebration of heroes. I'm currently out of here. I'm on my way to Buena Vista, which is also honoring Alamosa. Then 2 days later, Cortez, Montrose, Delta, planting some trees in Palisades, and then back to Denver to plan our September 11th weekend in Brush, Byers, and Commerce City. I'm also proud to announce that this morning we got our first large grant. Thanks to Jesse, the post commander at 151, just secured $140,000 for the Veteran Tree Memorial in Commerce City, which will be dedicated on the weekend of September 11th. So I'm excited. I know I don't seem very excited. I'm very tired. It's been a long weekend, but I'm super excited that we're starting to get some traction. I didn't know much about La Junta. I am a Denver native. I grew up in Denver, but now that I've been down here, this is our second celebration here. You guys are great people. It's a great community, and we're here to raise money. We don't, at Trillion Trees, we donate everything to trees. All the awards, it's about helping posts, helping them raise funds for the community, helping honor veterans. And why do we honor veterans? Because they're American heroes. That's why we honor them. And they're chosen by the district and the post. First year we go into basically the largest post in the district. And then year 2 we start to fan out. Like in Brush, we're celebrating 6 different posts the weekend of September 11th. And at these things, what I try to get out to people is that people say, what do trees have to do with veterans? Well, Civilian Conservation Corps back in, in the Great Depression, FDR time period, he started it obviously as a jobs program. Everybody knows that the Corps, Civilian Conservation Corps built the Hoover Dam and the interstate highway system. But what they don't know is they also employed 3 million people planting 3 billion trees. In 2020, our president went to the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. Leading world scientists had mapped out the entire globe for the first time by satellite, figured out that you could put, if you planted 1.2 trillion trees between 2021 and 2030, by 2050, they would mature to the point where you take 1/3 of the existing carbon out of the air. They do eat carbon. And by the way, it's by far the cheapest way, and this is the top world expert, the cheapest way to lower carbon. Not to mention the fact we've lost 10 million acres in the western United States. Colorado lost 5 million alone in the last few years. In our company, it's reforest, restore, and revive. You don't just plant trees, you have to restore the parks, you have to restore the forest, you have to revive it. You have to cut trees around large power lines in California because it's burning down the forest. People are getting killed, people are getting hurt. Manage your forest. La Junta knows about that. It's a kind of a community, knows about tree breaks. You need tree breaks. So it's not just about the forest, it's about farmland, silvopasture. That's what it's called when you're out in the grasslands and out in farmlands. So our program, the United States agreed to plant 100 billion trees in 2020. We have the 4th largest land mass of a country available behind Canada. I won't say Russia, but they were in there as far as size. And then obviously some countries like Brazil and New Zealand and some other countries like that. So our company's mandate, we're working with the government. They passed the Great American Outdoors Act shortly after January of 2020. Be proud because our 2 senators, Bennett and Cory Gardner, got it passed, largest environmental act in the history. For the first time, our forests are fully funded. This money's already been spent, guys. I'm not going to increase your inflation. It's already there. It's already spent. My job is to get grants, employ vets in our Warriors program. If you're coming back from Afghanistan, Iraq, wherever, Philippines, wherever you might be stationed, you come back, you might not have a job. You might not have a place to go. Our Warrior Division is going to help vets find jobs in forestry or find jobs with us in the projects I'm having our grant writers reach out and get grants for, just like the one that just happened. Our Ranger program is a volunteer program for people who want to go out and volunteer to plant trees. Our Scout program, I've already got a couple of Scout posters help me out in Northland. I'm starting to talk to people in Cortez out on the western slope. Scouts hooking up with older veterans, plant trees. If you're an older senior citizen and you want to help out, we have Little Trees Big Forest program. That's bonsais. I've been researching bonsais. We're planting 2,000 of them in a nursery right over here because Billy got me set up with a nursery in La Junta. So La Junta is becoming our warehouse for trees. We've also got, what was the gentleman's name? Gabe. Met him today. He's got 40 acres. He wants to start planting trees for us. So it turns out La Junta is going to be the center of our Southern Colorado program for our bonsais, for our Christmas tree program. We're going to be going out to legions all over Colorado, VFWs. We're already doing it at Sterling, Barrage Fires. We're setting up bonsai programs so older folks can come in, join together, have classes together, help us make our bonsais. You can make them for $10 and sell them for $100. Wiring bonsais is a lot of fun. It's a good way to get people into your posts. I'm working on a warrior program with Daryl, the commander in Buena Vista, where I want to get 30 guys in my first Trillion Tree Warrior volunteer program. Their job is to go out, clean up the forest, go to my fire camp that we're going to stop in Salida, how to plant trees, fire mitigation, how to clean your forest, and most importantly, how to be together and help the guys who run the streets and get them into volunteer programs. He's got 5 active members. I'm having North Glen cook their dinner. That's how small they are, guys. I'm bringing it from North Glen, Post 22. And my goal is to have 30 guys there in the next year or two that are in a volunteer program. They join the Legion or the VFW. They start meeting at the post, and they go out and help their community. That's how you start to build legions. I want to do it here. I want to do it there. I want to do it everywhere. I got a 48-state tour. Anybody who wants to talk to me tonight, I have cards right here. We're going to be going across the United States, setting up at least one 20 veteran memorial in each major city in America. Also Hawaii and Alaska. I don't get to go to Hawaii. Steve Butner gets to go. He's Legion Rider, and he gets to go there. But I get to go to Alaska. But again, I'm happy you're all here. I want to give great, incredible kudos to Billy. Billy helped me plant my trees in Pueblo. He's helping me fund my bonsai program. He's getting tons of donations. The man didn't even go to bed last night, guys. He's very tired, and please go shake his hand, give him a hug. His girlfriend, and she helped cook the food. She's all over it. Their daughter, Autumn, she's helping. Her daughter is auxiliary, I'm sorry. And her daughter, Autumn, helped me make the banners last year. We're going to be going up outside to hold up the banner that her and I made today. And I want you all to take pictures in front of it. And what? And you can put your handprint on it. We do that everywhere we go. It washes right off. I already did it. And now, because I know it's warm in here, we're going to start. We're honoring 7 heroes from this post. And I believe we're going to start in the middle. Billy, we're going to start with Jay Scott. Are you the one that wants to speak about Jay? Or you tell me.
I was going to see if Lynn would just want to say a few words.
Lynn, do you want to come up?
The story about his start with the post would be ideal. That's all we need. Would you please tell the story of Jay's stuff at the post?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
That's the dog.
That's Kitty Cat, by the way. Come up here, get in front of the camera. This is a live stream.
Hi. Okay, so Jay got started in the post because several years ago, he got the catalog that you guys send out every year, once or twice a month or whenever it goes out. Anyway, he paid into that thinking that he was just getting the magazine. Come to find out, he had actually joined the American Legion. Then we found out that we had an actual post here in La Junta. Well, then they had invited him down for his very first meeting. He had another meeting that day, so he went in and he was there probably about half an hour, 45 minutes, and said, I gotta go. I have another meeting I have to be to. Let me know what happens. Sayonara, I'll see you later. Out the door he went. About an hour later or so, we got a call from Leon Davis. You are now the post president. Have fun. So he really, that's our his life.
For all of you that knew Jay, and I don't think there's anybody in the building that didn't know
Sorry.
Jay, he was loud, boisterous. There was never a person that he couldn't make friends with. He would go out of his way for everybody, no matter what it was. Whether it was helping somebody carry garbage, carry groceries. I've seen the man on roofs that he had no business being on.
For sure.
You know, so he really, everybody was a friend. Everybody was a brother or a sister in Christ to him. His vets and their families, not just the vets themselves, the veterans' families were, I mean, there'd be times he'd say, well, I gotta go back to the office. Well, I gotta get this done. My vet's gonna be there tomorrow. It's like, it's 10 o'clock on Sunday night. What do you mean you're going back to the office? He would do that.
Yeah.
At the hospital, before we brought him home,
Yeah.
he's telling him, no, I gotta go home. I've gotta work the next 3 days because I've got contracts I've gotta get done. I've got some veterans paperwork I need to get turned in. The man was dying of cancer, and he was more worried about his vets and their families. He just was that big-hearted of a man. He was a gruff bear, but we all loved him.
Yes, we did.
Well, guys, Jay Scott, U.S. Navy, born 17th April 1948, and died just this last March 30th, 2022. Let's give this gentleman a big hand. And the memorial, I believe, is named after Jay Scott, right? You remember you naming it after him?
So, another thing with Jay, you know, everybody knew him, but he was also a Navy vet, and he was a blue water sailor. And me and him talked about a year ago, maybe a little bit sooner than that, but he told me that he was sick, but he had to keep going until he got the legislation passed. And I don't think very many people knew that. And even with the writers' Constitution and bylaws, Steve will tell you that Jay fought him tooth and nail, but they sat down and had very respectful conversations about whys and hows. And, you know, some people didn't like how Jay was because they don't like being told the truth. Me and Jay got along pretty good. When I started this memorial out here, I came up with the shape. I kind of looked at how I was planting the trees, and I kind of have an idea. And then when Jay died, it reminded me of a fantail for the ship. So if you look out there, Arkansas Valley Memorial, made of stone. It says Veterans Fantail Memorial, dedicated to Jay Scott, Otero County VSO, in memory of all that gave all. So look at it. It'll only get bigger from here.
And by the way, the week of the 18th, we're starting, we've got this memorial here. We're putting 21 trees here and one more event. And then we're starting at the cemetery, your local cemetery down the street here. I just met with the groundskeeper again this morning. The week of the 18th, we're starting that memorial. There's already flagpoles in the military section, and we're putting 21 trees in. Proud to say that we'll be planting them the week of the 18th. And without further ado, I'll hold this. Sorry, guys. You guys have it.
Do you want to read it first?
James Moley. And James was an 82nd Airborne in the United States Army. He was a paratrooper, ammunition expert, and he proudly served in the U.S. military from 1981 through 1990. He was born on 11th October 1963 and deceased on 21st of March of 2010. And these two beautiful young ladies are going to speak in his honor. Go ahead.
You don't have to look at anybody.
Don't have to look anybody, just read it off.
I never got to meet my grandpa, but he was an outdoorsman that love to hunt and fish. That's where I get it.
Thank you. Okay. Let's give James a huge hand, guys. Another great American hero. You're speaking. Okay. Lieutenant Colonel Charles Andrew Davis, United States Army, 8th Infantry, World War I Theater. He proudly served also in the military police. They sent me a write-up on him, and this very special gentleman. And I'm proud to just be holding this plaque. And you want to go ahead and give the invitation?
Again, like Autumn, I never did get to meet my grandpa, but I've heard stories and am very proud of everything that I've seen in scrapbooks with my grandpa and his journey through the military and everything. And when he retired from the military, he worked for the railroad here in La Junta. And the train that's up on the hill was his pride and joy. He washed that weekly when he was alive. So he took pride in that. So.
Guys, let's give him a great hand. I will say that take my card, look at our website. Actually, Adrian here, Seagonis, is going to help us redesign it. We've been collecting bios all the way back from post 209 and Golden and a year and a half, 2 years ago, up to the latest one. We will be honoring, if you want somebody honored, you want a tree planted, send me a message. I want to honor every veteran that was honorably discharged since George Washington. People said, you're nuts. No, if I build a corps of 3 million people, we'll do it, okay? But I need help. I need help. The next person we're honoring, Russell Alba McDonald. Who would like to come up and speak for Russell?
Dan.
Who did you say?
Dan?
Dan, front and center.
Which Dan?
Davis.
Dan Davis?
Dan.
I'd be happy to.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, this is kind of Russian roulette. You don't know who's talking until you.
Russell, those of you that knew him, what you were hearing about Jay Scott, to be said about Russell as well. He was known throughout Chirac by every veteran, I believe, that lived out there. He decorated their graves on his own. He cared for the aged veterans throughout the Chirac community by cutting the grass, trimming their trees, whatever needed done, he would help them, take them to the doctor, take them to town to get groceries, and all of those small but very needed things that people need and appreciate. And his heart was bigger than any heart I've ever known. He changed my attitude about this town a bit because he was so giving. And anybody that knew him, he used to work with Lynn Care, I think he was a store manager for a while, and he did respiratory therapy and all those kind of things. So he had that giving thing within his heart throughout his life. And he had very bad lungs that kind of got to him before COVID even. And no matter what, he wanted to keep going, keep going. He worked with me on transporting veterans to Denver, the Springs, Pueblo, wherever they needed to go. And at first, at times, we did it on our own. No money involved. They need a ride to get to go. So I'm happy you're honoring Russell. And he's somebody that should be remembered. Thank you.
Russell Alvin McDonald, born 4th August 1958, died 16 October 2020, United States Navy. Served proudly from 1976 to 1980. He was also a proud member of the American Legion, served in the American Legion for 5 years. He loved his community and he loved America. Give him a big hand. Next is Galen Phillips. Who's coming up to speak for Galen?
I don't know if we got anybody.
I don't know.
Did you want to?
I don't have the bio or his obituary or anything. I just knew him as a customer of mine, and from when I started motorcycle shop, and I don't think he had the chance to make it to a meeting due to COVID and stuff, because he died kind of in the midst of it and everything. So I just know he's a good guy that I knew him for, but I don't know anything in particular.
Well, Galen Phillips was in the U.S. Army. He was born 29 August 1949. He died 19 December 2020. He was in the U.S. Army in Vietnam. He proudly served 17 May 1971 to 11 January 1977. He was in the American Legion 19 years. I give you my solemn word that when the bio is not totally complete, I will complete it. When it goes on the website, it will be completed, and we'll make sure that everything that's known about him through his military records, or I have a team that researches that. So give him a great hand, though.
Unfortunately, our contact for that was the first one we honored for all the bios.
Oh, yeah.
The next person we're honoring today is John LeDuc. Is somebody coming up to speak to John LeDuc?
I knew John, but I don't want to say a lot about him. He was.
Why don't you come up again?
He lived in North
What's your name?
Carolina.
What's your name?
Daniel.
Shake my hand.
He's one of our past post
Past
commanders.
post commander.
Past post commander, tell us your name.
Yeah.
Daniel Davis.
Okay, Daniel,
Past
go ahead.
commander.
Yep.
I was volunteer transporting vets, and that's how I came across John LeDuc. He lived in North Lana, and he lived very poorly as a poor man, but he was rich in spirit, and we'd have long conversations on the way to the doctor and back about everything in the world. We solved a lot of problems. He had a lot of medical issues himself, and they finally got him, I guess. I saw his name in a paper that he had passed, and I said a small prayer, hope his troubles are over, because he had many. But another veteran served his country, served us, and we owe him gratitude.
John LeDuc, U.S. Navy, born 15 September 1951, died January 6, 2021. Proudly served U.S. Navy, Vietnam. 13 December 1973 through 21 October 1974, served in your American Legion for 14 years. I'm proud to be holding this. I'm proud to be honoring him. We'll get everything we can about his bio into our website and about his proud community. So, give him a big hand. Our last person we're honoring today, folks, is Larry Holt. Do we know who is going to speak for Larry?
Ron? I don't know anything about it. Yeah, there's a name you provided, so.
Oh, yeah, no. These are some past post members we
Okay.
want to recognize
Okay.
for their service and being part of our post.
Absolutely. Larry Holt was born on 29 August 1946. He died on March 2nd, 2022. And, you know, I traveled. I don't usually lose it. Anyways. I traveled to 350 American Legions in 2016 on I was searching out location for K9s for Wanderers. I met tons of people, lots of Democrats, lots of Republicans, it doesn't matter. All in American Legions and VFWs. Meeting people like this. People where they're getting older, serving their country, wondering what's going wrong. COVID hit. This gentleman died March 2nd, 2022, guys. Look, regardless of what you think about COVID or I don't really care about the politics of any of this. I care about a lot of people, a lot of older folks dying, a lot of people that served this country, gave their lives. And it's communities like this, okay, where these kind of people live. So, Larry Holt, U.S. Navy, Vietnam, proudly served 22nd June 1966, March 2nd, 1970, excuse me. Again, proudly served in Vietnam, and was a proud member of this Legion, and a proud member of this community, and I want you to give him a big hand. If you've been sitting in this room, no, I know I'm in my suit, and this, we need to go outside and go to a nice cold room, have some act. There's a band coming, there's an auction about to start. Trillion Trees donated these trees. Billy helped pick them all up. We've got some nice bamboo things. You know what those are for, mosquitoes and all that stuff. I thought it would look kind of nice in forestry. These are up for auction. These are up for auction. All of these plants come from the local nursery. They're up for auction. Billy can tell you about some weapons that he's auctioning off. I believe those jackets are being auctioned off. It's for your post and your community. So please support it. The last thing I want to say is I want to thank my, we were using bonds. We ran out of bonds. We're planning a whole bunch more. This is the bamboo. I know what it is, but bamboo kind of celebrates kind of a lot of these people, you know, it kind of reminds me of Vietnam and, you know, bamboo and all that. But anyway, bamboo is kind of a symbol of life. And last year when we had bamboos here and we had little ones, Autumn helped me plant them. And I want Autumn to come up and accept this for her family from Trillion Trees and give her a big hand. All right, guys, I'm done. There's a band coming up. There's alcohol. I hope you guys stay and have a great evening. I think that band's really good. I heard them play. And I hope you have a great night. And I hope you go give a veteran somewhere a hug. Or first responders or anyone who's serving your community. And let's have a good time. And let's try to be together. That's the theme of our Colorado tours, together. Okay? Big hand for Junta. Thank your post commander. He was out there in the freaking grueling heat planting trees for 3 hours with me today. Give him a big hand.
Adrian was too.
Adrian.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Adrian, for putting this out on the airwaves.
Yeah.
There we go.
And everybody have a great night. I'm going back in my shorts.
There we go. For Steele Smith, the Trillion Tree Corps, our live stream sponsors, the Arkansas Valley Hospice and Southeast Health Group. I'm Adrian Hart for the American Legion from Outcast Cycles in La Junta, Colorado.